Wednesday, October 1st. Can you believe it? It's already October. Probably, I was kind of thinking about this. Is October the best month for sports in general? That's my question for the day. Is October the best month? Beth Best month for sports. I mean, you have your middle of the NFL season, middle of the college football season. Basketball and hockey will be starting up. Playoff baseball. So plus you got all the other sports around if you're into it. We got a big UFC event on Saturday, which I'm excited about. Those are all year long. But man, when you talk about the four major sports of the U.S., nothing really beats October, right? I mean, you have them all four going on. It's the only month where all four of them are going on, unless I'm totally blanking on something. But it's the only month, once basketball and hockey start up. But yeah, we're here October 1st. We're heading into week 5, guys. Can you believe it? We're already into week 5 of the NFL season. It literally flies by. I can't believe how fast it goes. Let's see here. Week 5. So that means after this week, we will be 36% of the way done with the fantasy regular season. That is crazy. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Down with fun. My vision of Mac Jones is coming to pass. Yeah. Although it's going to be a test for him. He has no one to throw to. What they say? Ricky Pearsall out. Juwan Jennings out. So Demarcus Robinson season. Maybe Kendrick Bourne season. Maybe is Jacob Cowing back? Sky Moore season? Maybe MVS season. Jordan Watkins, is he going to play or is he still out? Man, if Jordan Watkins is healthy, this would be his time to shine. Is Aaron Jones worth the number one waiver ad if available? I assume you're talking about right now, right? Like so the original waivers have finished. So like Woody Marks is gone, and everyone that was on this waiver wire, this waiver wire part is gone. But probably I would say so. I would say that Aaron Jones is probably worth that pickup. I mean, we don't know. So what's it been? 2 weeks for Aaron Jones now, or 3 weeks? Did he miss? He missed the first game, or he played the first game and got hurt and put on IR? Is that right? No, he played in 2 games. So we got you got 2 more weeks of Aaron Jones, right? Missing if at minimum. So let's look at the Vikings schedule. So they play. So they have their bye coming up. So I always forget. Like, does the bye count as? Or they have to miss 4 games, right? It's not just 4 weeks; it's 4 games. So, and the reason I ask is because the Vikings have a week 6 bye. So then, is he going to miss this week? They're on a bye week 6, week 7. So the soonest you're starting him is week 8, and then you're going to be a little bit hesitant about starting him first week back. So maybe week 9, you're not really getting, potential production from Aaron Jones. I would definitely add him. If I'm sitting on the number 1 waiver right now, I'd be okay with it. Pokey is here. He says Knicks, Henry, Dobbins, Puka, Waddle, Sutton, Laporta, benches Addison, Bucky injured, Jacoby Myers, Lad McConkey, Tucker Kraft, Darren Waller, Franklin. What are some moves I can do to Bucky going down? So what moves can you do? What's your record, Pokey? Okay, 2-2 record. You're a 10 team. I'd be looking to consolidate here. It's a 10-teamer, so you're going to have more stacked teams in general. So let's see here. Like right now, who is your hammer pieces? And what I mean by hammer pieces, like these are top 5, top 7 guys. When you get these smaller leagues, generally most people play in a start 7 or start 8, right? Not including kickers or defense. So you play in a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex, right? So you play in a start 7. Okay. Maybe you play in a 3 wide receiver league. Maybe you play in a 2 flex league. Most people don't really go beyond starting 8, which is pretty shallow. And in a 10 team, it's even more shallow, right? And so we are looking for these hammer pieces, these guys that all you really need in a 10 team or a 12 team, start 7 or 8, is 3 awesome pieces. And then just all the other guys can kind of plug in and be top 24 guys. Top 24, wide receiver 24 in these type of leagues they don't really matter as that much unless you have a couple of the top 5 guys. So you have Puka, right? He's kind of your only, I would say, clear cut hammer piece. Now you have some good pieces around him for sure. In Sutton, I still believe in Derrick Henry. It's going to be a little bit nerve wracking with Lamar out, and Henry could be kind of in trouble with Lamar out. But I still kind of believe in Henry being that hammer piece. They just got to get in the right game script, right? They got to get in the right game script. So I'd be looking to package some players. So let's see here. You have Dobbins, Waddle, Sutton. So I mean, you have some really, really nice pieces here. Like I see all these pieces here. Waddle, Sutton, J.K. Dobbins. I see all of these pieces as like top 20 guys, maybe low end wide receiver ones, top 15 guys, which like Cortland Sutton right now is a wide receiver one. Can I package a Dobbins and Laporta or Tucker Kraft or Ladd McConkey or Jakobi Meyers, something like that? Like I'm looking at Dobbins and I'm looking to package him with someone and getting a big piece in return, getting a top 5, 7 guy at whatever position, really, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, or running back. Even tight end you could technically use. So that's what I'd be looking to do, because this looks like a good roster, right? But I guarantee you there are people, and it kind of proves by your record, right? You're 2-2. If you told me you had this roster, now I know Henry's been kind of a bust, Nick's hasn't been great, but you told me you have this kind of roster. You've been starting Dobbins, Puka, Sutton, Bucky, Laporta, guys like that. You'd think you'd be probably 3-1, but in a 10-team league, a lot of people have teams like this. So you're looking to package and really upgrade to a player. Really, really upgrade there. So now you can throw out some ideas, Pokey, from other teams that you think you could trade for, but yeah, that's what I'd be looking to do there. What's up, Frizzle? By the way, I do want to remind you guys, hit the like button. I can't speak today. Hit the like button for us. It just helps get eyes on the video, which is great. Join our Discord. If you would join our Discord, it is free to join. You'll know when we go live each and every day that we go live. You will get a reminder in there. And we also do team reviews. So like someone like Pokey, it's a little bit hard to say what move should I make when I don't really know the context of the league very well. Well, if you want to get your team reviewed, whether it's Dynasty or Redraft, we will make a video for you. We either do it live on a live stream video, break down your team, break down your league, like really put a lot of effort into it and trade options. Or we'll make it a private video if you don't want anyone else seeing it in the league or whatever. We can do that as well. So it is we do charge for it, but we charge a pretty reasonable price. What's up, Frizzle? Jordan Watkins is out. Bummer. Are we starting Juwan Johnson? Are we starting Juwan Johnson or Harold Fannin Jr.? I think it's Juwan Johnson, right? It's pretty easily Juwan Johnson. I know he kind of had a down week, right? Juwan Johnson. But it's going to happen for tight ends. Harold Fannin, I did like his usage. He played 85% of the snaps. He played an 85% of the snaps. It didn't necessarily translate to a big fantasy day for him, but we don't know his relation with, and his connection with Dillon Gabriel. The Browns are starting Dillon Gabriel. I would still go Juwan Johnson. He's had 3 really good games and 1 down game. And that 1 down game, like, it wasn't just a complete bust, and he still got you 6 points or whatever. But I'm still going Juwan Johnson. I'm dropping Franklin for Goff. Got to take advantage of that matchup. Yeah. I mean, you don't have a quarterback where you're not locking Knicks in each and every week and not even thinking about it. So definitely play the matchups there for sure. Travion, Chase Brown, or Michael Carter this week. Man, can you guys think it's like, isn't fantasy football just crazy? Like, you can spend months preparing for it, talking about it, which we do. And by week 5, we're talking about starting Michael Carter, Chase Brown, or Travion Henderson. We're literally talking about starting a guy who we didn't even draft. No one was even thinking about, over a second-round pick in Chase Brown, over a fourth-round pick in Travion Henderson. It is crazy. We have a one of our listener leagues, a dynasty league. I was just mentioning this. He had Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. The guy's 1-7. We play one game against the league median. He's gone 1-7 this year. Like, if you would have told me you're starting those 3 guys each and every week, you'd think you'd at least be 500 or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. To answer your question, though, man, it's probably, I think I'm still going to go Travion Henderson. Actually, I think I would go Chase Brown still, and just hope that Bengals offense like puts it together. The one thing you do know, like, and the reason why I go Chase Brown here, Frizzle, is basically he's the only one of the 3 that I know is going to get used quite a lot. Right? He's gonna play. Last week he played in 73% of the snaps. He had 13 touches. He's the only one that I know is going to play a lot and get a lot of touches. I don't know with Travion Henderson. We all talked about it. Oh, he's going to break out this week. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled twice. Antonio Gibson fumbled twice. This is Travion Henderson, breakout season game, whatever. He played his lowest snap share of the season last week, Travion Henderson. He got a touchdown, great, but he played in 30% of the snaps. You can't rely on that type of stuff. Could you get a good game from him? Sure, you can get a good game from anyone playing, 1 snap. But the odds say you're not going to get a good game from him. The only one I know that's going to play a lot is Chase Brown. And so I might just go Chase Brown for that reason. Michael Carter, I know he got some usage last year, right? When Connor got hurt. And obviously Trey Benson. Is Trey Benson for sure out? Is he for sure out? So Michael Carter last year started, basically played in a large percentage of 2 games, and he had 15 and 21 touches. So, I mean, he could get a lot of work. He absolutely could get a lot of work. Benson on IR. Damn, I've had such a busy day. I completely missed that. That he went to IR. Crazy. Man, just when we thought we were gonna get the Trey Benson season, right? I'll put it this way: I would go Chase Brown, Michael Carter, Travion Henderson. As crazy as that is, that's what I would do there. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy for me to think about that stuff, like that's that we're at that point, that we're at that freaking point there. So, continuing on here, Mark says he got offered Rice for Sutton. Should I accept? I'm currently 4-0. If I'm 4-0, I am taking Rashee Rice. If I'm 4-0, I'm taking Rashee Rice for Courtland Sutton, straight up. Absolutely. Yeah. That's an easy Rashee Rice, because and remember, you'll feel comfortable. A lot of times I talk about this when guys are like not playing, and then you always have to add an extra week because they're coming back from injury, and are they going to be slowly acclimated to it? That could happen with Rice, but I don't think it will, because because of the fact that that he's not coming back from an injury. So I'm not super worried about that. So yeah, that's a pretty easy Rashi Rice there. So the Benson Bucking injury slowly unfurling has been so confusing and hilarious. Managed to scoop up both DeMarcado and Carter in my home league and feeling like a genius. Yeah, it sucks, man. The Bucky thing's weird. Like he might need surgery, but he still might play and stuff like that. Same thing with the Terry McLaurin stuff. The Terry McLaurin injury stuff is crazy to me. It's like, oh, he's seeing a specialist, but he still might play, you know? So it's like, what is going on with these guys? I will say this: ever since the NFL has embraced sports betting, we've been getting updates on players way earlier than I ever remember. Again, I've been playing fantasy football now for 20 years, since 2005. And it used to be like that was back when they had probable as one of their injury designations. So they had probable, questionable, and doubtful. And so probable was like, 75% chance they play, or 80, whatever percentage you wanted to put on it. But ever since they embraced sports betting, we've been getting updates on players like Friday, Saturday. This player is going to play. This player is not going to play. So it's great for us in fantasy, but the Bucky stuff, the Benson stuff, the Terry McLaurin stuff, it is very, very strange. Now I need to make sure that Michael Carter is not sitting out there on any waiver wires or whatever. So, but yeah. Hit that like button. Yes, please, guys, just hit the like button. That's all we ask. Don't ask anything else. Just hit the like button. If you do feel so kind that you want to donate any money to us or get your question, pushed to the top of the queue, there is a little $sign there, but definitely not mandatory. Brandon says Hunter Henry or Kelsey, no tight end premium. Brandon, I'm taking Hunter Henry. Like Hunter Henry is just a part of this offense. He's a big part of this offense. So this isn't a fluke in my opinion. I was talking about Hunter Henry, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I've been talking about Hunter Henry as like, I think he's going to be a tight end 1 this year since like March, March, we talk a lot about dynasty, buy low players and stuff like that. And Hunter Henry was like a guy that I was consistently talking about buying low on, because you look at his numbers with Drake May last year, and Hunter Henry in the Drake May games was actually on pace for a really good season. The only issue with him last year was that he didn't score a touchdown. And we know Hunter Henry can score touchdowns, and we've seen it this year. He scored three already. Didn't have a huge target game. 2 for 40 and a touchdown, though, is great for a tight end. So I'm taking Hunter Henry. I think, he plays a lot as well. He runs a lot of routes. He's playing on average almost 85% of the snaps. So to me, it is Hunter Henry. It is Hunter Henry. I was digging deep with the beat writers, and there's been smoke of Benson and Bucky injuries being serious-ish since Monday. Yeah, I've been bad this week about paying attention to news. It's been a really busy week. Yeah, I mean, that's good to know, because, Michael Carter could be a big ad then. I'm worried about Bucky. Definitely worried about Bucky. Who do you guys think is going to who do you guys think is it going to be the Rachaad White show, or is it going to be the Sean Tucker show? What do you guys think there? Sean Tucker, a little bit of both. Does Tucker take over the Bucky role? Does Rachaad White take over the Bucky role? I'm kind of curious there. I think they obviously use Tucker, but yeah, that's good to know, though. I need to go out and claim Michael Carter everywhere, because I see he is still available in some leagues. So that's definitely people that I need to get on top of it. So um, here, hang on. But yeah, let me see. Sorry guys, I'm just doing some maintenance here. Um, and picking some players up here. I knew in Zeus League that Michael Carter wouldn't be there, but had to check. Okay. Sorry, guys. I was just putting in some waiver claims. 2026, 104, 105 or Brees. 1 for 1, 14 man, start 8. I think if I knew it was the 104, like a top 4 or 5 pick, I would take the top 5 pick for Brees. Obviously, it's a little bit harder if you're competing, not competing, all of that stuff. I don't necessarily. I know a lot of people play Dynasty, which is totally fine. A lot of content creators talk Dynasty this way, or play Dynasty this way. People in general play Dynasty this way, where it's like if I'm competing, I can never get rid of producing players, or whatever. I can never get rid of a player to get a pick, and I don't necessarily think that's true. You always got to be open to getting rid of players, whether you're competing or not. I just think the value to get Brees to get a top 4 or 5 pick in the draft, I think is the way to go. Even though Brees has been a productive running back for you for the most part. I mean, he's been a top 25 guy. He's had 2 good weeks and 2 bad weeks, so a little bit inconsistent and stuff. But I think you got to take at that point. I mean, what are we? We're getting into. I know he's still relatively young, Brees Hall. And I can definitely see Brees Hall going to another team and being awesome and stuff like that. But we're in year 4 of Brees's career, and for the most part, he's been pretty much a disappointment. He came out the gates his rookie year and was awesome. Um, he had kind of a down 2020 his 2023 season, he caught a lot of passes. I shouldn't say it was a down year, but it also didn't feel completely right. I don't know. He's been kind of a disappointment in his career up until this point. So I think I would take the top 5 pick there, Marvin. I have Daniel Jones, Mayan Allen, and I don't really need a quarterback. That's why I would that's what I would ideally want for the pick. You would want what, Marvin? You would want what would you want for the pick? 2026 104 and a 27 third or Brees and Hunter Henry. Yeah, in a non-tight end premium, I mean, even in a tight end premium, I'm gonna take the 104 and the 27 third. I think I would, yeah, I think I would take the 104 and the 27 third for those two, especially in a non-tight end premium, because tight ends are really not that valuable. Even the top tight ends are still like not as valuable compared to like the top receivers and running backs and all of that. So yeah, I need to make a claim here. Who am I gonna drop? I think I'm gonna drop this player here. Let's go with that, and let's go with that. Going Saints day over Colts, hoping the Giants get drunk on bourbon. Street Jackson scat together is trouble. Yeah. So you're going Saints over Colts. What do you mean by you're going Saints over Colts? You know are you talking about the defenses? I think you might be talking about defenses, right, Rocky? My favorite defense this week is the Cardinals. I think they're my favorite playing the Titans. Titans are just like, I think everyone scored like 13 or more points. Every defense has scored 13 or more points. against them. So that's my favorite defense, and they're widely available. At least they were. I don't know if they are now or not, but Sean Tucker or a third? That was fun. You would take the third, right? I think I would take the third still, only because we don't know for sure if this is a long-term injury for Bucky. So I could easily see that like being the wrong move. We fast forward to 2-3 weeks, and Bucky Irving is like on a long-term IR, and Sean Tucker is like awesome. But I think I think I think I would just take the third. I think that's like the process. The process is to take the third, right? I think it's a little bit telling. Like, remember, Sean Tucker was like awesome. That he had that 1 week. It was against the Saints, by the way, in last year, I guess it was against the Saints. I don't know where the Saints finished against running backs last year, but the Buccaneers scored 51 points. The Saints were just a bad team, and Sean Tucker went 14 for 136, caught 3 passes for 56 yards. So he had 190 total yards and 2 touchdowns. I think it's kind of telling though that he put on that type of performance, and then he basically just like did nothing the rest of the year, right? Like if you that's basically me. That's, in my opinion, that's the team saying we know what Sean Tucker was or is. That's a little fluky, and we don't think he's that type of player, and so they basically just like didn't use him the rest of the year. So that's kind of my process when it comes to Sean Tucker. So yeah, I think I agree with Down with Fun. I think I would just take the third. What's up, Jeb? I know you have a question here. Would you rather have Derrick Henry, Michael Pittman, or Genty and Pearsall? Guys, make sure Ricky Pearsall. I know he's missing this week. Is it? And Down with Fun, have you gone deep into the beat writers and what they're saying about his injury? I know it was a knee, right? I've been terrible about it, keeping up this week with injuries and stuff, or just news in general. Minor PCL injury is what I've last heard. I think I'm taking. Man, that's really tough, because you would assume like, all right, Genty's breakout. He broke out, and that's not going to go back in the bag, right? Derrick Henry could be tough. Michael Pittman's been awesome this year. I think I would take Genty and Pearsall and just hope that Pearsall injury is only like a 1 week thing, short week, stuff like that. I think that's the way I would go there. Just because I could make the argument like Genty's going to be better than Henry. Like Henry, there's some issues there without Lamar Jackson as well. So, yeah, I think I would go Genty Pearsall. That's a tough one though, Jeb. That is a tough one. If I trade the pick, then we'll have the 104. If I keep it, I feel like it would be 107. At worst, maybe 108. If I trade the pick. So you're saying if you trade it, you think it would be the 104, and if you keep it, it's going to be like the 107? I guess I'm not fully understanding there, Marv. I think I haven't updated like my dynasty rankings and like where I value each players. I think when you start to get to the second half of the first round, in terms of picks, I think that's where Breece Hall comes into the conversation, like the 108 ish. And again, it's hard when not really knowing the draft class. I am going to put out a video on the 2026 draft class this week, but I think when you start getting into that 107 to 110 range, that's when you start getting to um, Brees Hall conversation there. Would you trade DK and Judkins for Odunze and Kraft? Smitty, I would take the Odunze. No, sorry, the I would take the Metcalf Judkins side, unless we're talking a tight end premium. I think DK is going to be. I've been a little bit disappointed with DK. I thought he was going to be a lot more. He did have the big game, but he had not. I made a video about avoiding matchups to target and avoid. And one of the matchups to avoid was DK going up against the Vikings. And you can look at his box score and say 5 for 126 and a touchdown. You're stupid. You were wrong. And yeah, I was wrong in the sense like he had a big game, but you take out an 80-yard touchdown pass, which is not going to happen very often. And DK did not have a good game. He gave you 4 for, he gave you 4 for 46, right? Now, obviously, you can't take away 80-yard touchdowns, and DK's has that potential in him. So I've been a little bit disappointed with Metcalf, but he's scoring touchdowns. I think he's better than what he was previously, like 3 for 32, 3 for 20. I don't think he's necessarily going to give you 5 for 130 a lot, but I think he's somewhere in the middle, 5, 6 catches, 70, 80 yards, and then the, touchdown more often than not is going to go to DK Metcalf. So I think DK Metcalf's probably a top 24 wide receiver. I think Judkins, my only concern with this is just what is this offense going to look like with Dylan Gabriel? At least Flacco could maybe make it competitive and stuff like that. That's a tough one. And by the way, Kyrie, I see your comments. You only have to put it once. I'll get to it. I'm going in order, Kyrie. So you don't have to spam the comment there. I'll go in order. If you have an urgent question, like you need to leave, you can't sit here and listen, then you can super chat and I will kind of prioritize it. But I kind of go in order here, just so you know. Man, the more I think about it, it's like Odunze just might be the best piece here. And I might just take Odunze. I think I'm just going to take Odunze. And Kraft is a good starter at tight end. Like, he's a very good tight end. I mean, he's been a top 5 tight end this year. So the more I think about it, I think I'm going to go Odunze and Kraft. So I've been disappointed with DK despite the big performance. And Judkins and the Browns offense, led by Dylan Gabriel, scares me a little bit. So I changed my mind. I went full 180 there. The Smitty, I only have 3 wide receivers on my team. 2 are questionable. If I had to drop one of these running backs to get a wide receiver off of waivers, what running back would you drop? Man. Help me out, guys. I think it's Marks or Benson. Is it Marks or Benson? Or should I throw him? No, sorry, not Marks. Is it Henderson or Benson? I really don't want to drop TreVeyon Henderson. I really don't want to drop him. You can't drop David Montgomery. I mean, I'm slightly concerned about Montgomery, but the fact is, like, the guy's been a top 20 running back, and that's kind of what we drafted him to be. You're not dropping Rachaad White at this point with the Bucky injury. That's tough. That is tough. It might be Henderson, though. I mean, he's just been sucking. I mean, the Benson might be the answer because his injury might be serious, right? But we just don't know. We just don't know. To me, it's Benson or Henderson. I actually might lean Benson. Well, who are you dropping these guys for, Smitty? That's another question. If you're dropping them for some scrub wide receiver, why not trade? I think I'd try and make a trade instead. Or what quarterback would you drop to clear up a spot? Browning. Oh, if you have a quarterback to drop, oh, you're not dropping one of your running backs. I assume this is super flex. If you have these guys on your team, I assume this is super flex. I think I'm gonna drop Browning or Gabriel. I'm gonna keep Rattler because at least he runs the ball a little bit. I don't know what these other two guys if they're going to. So it's probably Dylan Gabriel that I'm dropping. Sounds like it's super flex though, right? Yeah, Saints DST. Okay, Smitty, 10-man PPR. Herbert, Bijan, Herbert, Bijan, Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, DK Bowers, DJ Moore, Judkins, Bill, Ridley, Harvey, Mixon on IR, Brandon RB, and D Mercado. I'm 3-1, and this week for buys kills me. DK, Bijan, Jacobs, and more. That's tough. Willing to put the week a bit if this means I'm winning the trade. Yeah, I think I would take the Adunze trade there, Smitty. The more I think about that. And then so your running backs will be a little bit okay, you'll be starting Bijan. I mean, so you're essentially, I assume you're starting Herbert, Bijan and Jacobs, Wilson, Bowers. I think I would just take the best piece in Adunze there. I think that's what I would do. Pearsall's potential PCL, dicey stuff. Yeah, it is dicey stuff. Bye week's killing me. I need 2 flexes from Cup, Coleman, Slayton, Bourne, Kirk, and Carter. Okay, so we're starting Michael Carter. I think if Benson's out, Benson's on IR. I think we're going to go with Michael Carter. I think I'm willing to take that risk with this crop of players. I think I'm willing to take that risk. And then the other one is tough. I'm going to eliminate Christian Kirk. As not so sexy as it is, I think I'm just going to go Cooper Kupp. Potential shootout against Tampa Bay. I don't think their defense is great. I think they're good at stopping the run. And so it could be a little bit more of a passing game. So I think I'd go Kupp and Michael Carter. I just can't trust, who did the Bills play? Keon Coleman to me is unless the Bills are going to be in a shootout, I'm not starting Keon Coleman. That's kind of how I view Keon Coleman, right? They're playing New England. It could be maybe, but I don't think that's going to be a shootout. So I'm going to eliminate him. I'm going to eliminate Slayton. I just don't know how many times they're actually going to pass the ball. To me, it's between Bourne, Kupp, and Carter. I'd probably go Carter and Kupp. So I don't really want to start BTJ this week. Margin of error is really small in order for the Jags to win. No time to try and mesh. T-Line needs to do what he's comfortable with. Yeah, I think I'm kind of out on starting BTJ at this point, unless it's in deeper leagues or something. All right, Kyrie, we're here. Drake May or Justin Fields? I'm going to go Justin Fields. Justin Fields, just double checking matchups. Justin Fields against Dallas. I was already leaning Fields just because of the rushing. I'm going to go Fields. I like Drake May a lot. I would, if you had both these guys, Kyrie, I'd be trying to trade one, trying to trade high on Justin Fields' huge performance. I'd be trying to trade the one I can get the most in return for. But if I had to choose one of these two, I would go Fields. My thought is to flip Kraft for a solid running back like Javonte or something. Yeah, I don't know if you can do it straight up for Javonte. I mean, Javante's been like a top 10 running back this year, right? But I don't think it's a bad idea. Actually, Smitty, I think what I potentially might do, I know it's crazy, but when people have a surplus at a position, like 2 good tight ends, 2 top 5 tight ends in Bowers and Tucker Kraft, right? People always think to trade the lower of the two. I always think about why not trade the guy that's going to bring me back in more in return? Why not trade Bowers? And then I think to myself, what's the difference between Bowers and Kraft going to be? It might not be that. It might be a few points. And if I can get a way better piece in return for Bowers, I think that's actually the play. Possibly. It just depends what you can get in return, though. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to flip them. So I need to grab my charger real quick, guys. I forgot to grab my charger. I'll be right back, and then we'll get back to these questions. We'll stay live for about another 15 to 20 minutes, but let me go grab my my charger real quick. I'll be right back. All right, got the charger. I'm coming back. Zaps my battery. Okay. Where are we at here? I just did the trade. Okay, nice. Nice, Smitty. I like it. You got the best piece. You got the best piece, in my opinion, in Rome Odunze. I mean, think about Rome Odunze. Like, I feel like because Rome Odunze wasn't hyped as much as Neighbors and Marvin Harrison last year, because Rome Odunze didn't have a great year last year, we're like kind of skeptical on it a little bit. Just imagine if this was if Marvin Harrison was doing this. If Marvin Harrison was doing what Rome Odunze was doing right now, he would be untouchable, right? Like Marvin Harrison, you would not be able to trade for him. They were both drafted in the top 10. Some people were even saying like Odunze might be a better wide receiver than Marvin Harrison. So like, I think it's not a fluke, I guess is my whole point. Like, we need to buy into this. Caleb's going to be slinging it. They play on a bad defense. Yeah, I think this is real for Rome Odunze. Trade Woody plus Keon Coleman for Kraft. 3-1 PPR. Running backs are Gibbs, Warren, Scat, RJ, Woody, 2 in wide receiver, CD, BTJ, Sutton, Igbuka, Coleman, Io Manor, and Jawan. So you're starting Gibbs. Okay. Yeah, I would do that trade, I think. No, the more I think about it, I think I'm just fine with Juwan Johnson. I think I'm fine with Juwan Johnson, Patrick, and just like seeing what Woody Marks is, right? I mean, Juwan Johnson to this point has been better than oh no, he hasn't technically been better, but he's been a half a point worse than Tucker Kraft, right? And so, what is the difference between Tucker Kraft and Juwan Johnson the rest of the season? Now, there's a chance that Juwan Johnson, with Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill coming back, that Juwan Johnson starts to play a little bit less. That's always been his problem. His problem has never been, not a good receiving tight end. His problem is he doesn't play enough. Now he is, and that could be a little bit in question with those guys coming back. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like the difference between Juwan Johnson and Tucker Kraft is probably not going to be that drastic. I think I would just keep Woody Marks to see what do I have here? What is this, right? Because Woody Marks is a rookie running. A couple things here. Woody Marks is a rookie running back. The Texans essentially traded a 3rd-round pick to move up and draft him. That's kind of unheard of what the Texans did. They traded up from like I forget exactly what was the trade, but essentially like they traded up in the 4th round, I think it was, and they gave up a 3rd next year to go basically trade to move up in the 4th to get Woody Marks. So they obviously liked the guy. He's playing next to Nick Chubb, who is fine for what he is at this point, but Nick Chubb is not a player you should be handing the ball 15, 20 times to. He should be more of grind it out, tough yard type of player, give Woody Marks a breather. Joe Mixon, it sounds like, is not playing this year. And we just saw Woody Marks come out and, gave you 21 touches, 120 scrimmage yards, and 2 touchdowns. And so, like, I don't think I want to get rid of that. And by the way, in college, I know a lot of people don't follow college or don't play Dynasty and stuff. Woody Marks was like a pass catcher. Like that's his superpower. The guy caught 260 passes in 5 seasons um, in college, 60, 83, 48, 23, and 47. So, like, I don't think I don't necessarily think he's this amazing pass catching running back, but he can catch the ball. So, like, we could be kind of seeing like and the Texans just need weapons. So, I'm gonna go Woody Marks and just roll with Juwan Johnson. 2 quarterback league, super flex league. Okay, what wide receiver would you trade for? I'm eyeing AJ Brown. Who would you suggest? I would buy low on AJ Brown if I could. If you can get a stud somehow, that's not obvious, right? Some other players, like let's just talk buy lows here. I would buy low on Drake London if hopefully you still can, but I would buy low on him. I'd buy low on Nico Collins. I don't mind trading for Chris Olave because I think he's just like a solid floor play with the upside of if he catches a touchdown. I think I would buy low on Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, buy low. Waddle, if someone's not putting 2 and 2 together, that like, oh, Tyreek Hill out, Jalen Waddle should be good. I think I would buy low on him. So there's some options there. Tough to know for sure. Again, guys, if you want to join our Discord and you want a team review, we do team reviews. We look at your team, your league, give you trade opportunities, moves to make, all of that stuff. There's a cost to it. It's not super expensive. Some people out there charge $50, $60 for a team review. We're not even anywhere close to that. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord. I just put the chat there. It's really hard to say you should make this move without really knowing the context of your league. My heart actually breaks for what people had to trade up to get Marv. Yeah. But to be honest, like I still believe that Marv can be the guy. I still believe he can be the guy. So, what was were you? No, you weren't in that league. So, down with fun. I made a trade in our other dynasty listener league that started up this year. Actually, I thought this team was awesome. I'm 2-6, so that just goes to show you like what that means. But I thought that team was awesome. But I traded away Golden and Judkins for Marv and my 26 second back. I wanted to get your thoughts on that trade. I felt like it was a trade I kind of had to make. I love Golden. I think Judkins is going to be good, but I traded away Judkins and Golden. I got Marv and my second back, which right now that second is looking early. So it was more of the process trade. It wasn't necessarily like I think Marv's going to be great, but I just felt like he had the most upside out of all those guys. So, yeah, both of these seem like smash plays. But should I go with the Vikings or the Rams defense this week? I think I would go with the Vikings defense. Yeah, Vikings against Cleveland playing Dylan Gabriel. It's Vikings. Who should I start at in my flex full PPR 14-man league? Kendrick Bourne, Torrey Horton, Rico Dowdle, or Slayton? I think I would go Kendrick Bourne. To me, it's Kendrick Bourne or Slayton. I like Torrey Horton. I think he's a playmaker. I think Seattle needs to get him more involved. But the fact of the matter is that he's not playing a whole lot yet. He's not quite there yet. So he's playing in last week, 36.4% of the snaps. His highest snap share was actually week 1, 53.8. He's just not playing enough that you can rely on him. Rico Dowdle, I don't think is going to get much more work than what he's been getting unless Chuba Hubbard gets hurt. So to me, it's between Slayton and Kendrick Bourne. I don't really know how much the Giants are going to throw the ball. So I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne. He's going to play the most probably. So, um, yeah, I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne. I don't think it's terrible. Personally, kind of thinking that Golden ends up as the Reed 2.0. There's a possibility. Yeah. I just felt like it was the trade I kind of had to me getting my second back was kind of like it sealed the deal because either the trade's not going to work out and then that second's going to be essentially a first round pick, right? A top 13, the top 14 pick, or it's going to work out. Marv's going to be awesome. And then it's a later pick, right? So, yeah, I don't think it was like a smash win for me at all, but I think it was the right move for my team. Would you pick up one of these receivers? Io Manor, Malik Washington, Mims, Franklin, Hollywood Brown, Ridley, Sterling Shepard. I would. I'd pick up Io Manor. I'd pick up Malik Washington. Between Mims and Franklin, let me just double check something. I think it's Franklin still, even though Mims had the better game, right? Let me just double check though, real quick. Yeah, it's still Franklin for me. Mims, man, like he is awesome in a per touch basis, but he just doesn't play enough. And so the problem with Mims is that you get these games where he does nothing, right? And so, Troy Franklin, 6 or more targets in 3 or 4 games. So I would pick up Io Manor, Malik Washington, Franklin. Probably not Hollywood Brown, not Ridley at this point, and probably not Sterling Shepard. So yeah, the first 3 or 4 guys I think I would pick up. Judkins is hard to let go, but there are still signs of life from Marv, even if I would have preferred QJ. Yeah. And by the way, I did that trade after the first week of Judkins, I think. So if that changes yet, I don't know. Vikings, yeah. What's up? What's up, Bo Soxers? Walking the dog, no worries. Probably be live for just another 5-ish minutes or so. CMC for late 26 first pick and a random 27. Danny, I think this one definitely depends on if you're rebuilding or not. If you're rebuilding, it's easy. Take the 2 first round picks for CMC. You're probably not going to get much better for CMC right now than 2 first round picks. If you're contending though, I would be keeping CMC because yeah, he could get hurt, but the guy could also like catch 130 passes this year. So, yeah. I mean, what is he on pace for? It's insane. He's on pace for he's averaging 7.8 receptions per game, guys. That's insane. So he's on pace for, I'm going to use my calculator because my brother's not here and he's better at math than me. 132.6, so 133 catches if we round up, right? Single season reception leader for all positions, not just running backs, for all positions, was Michael Thomas with 149. CMC, if he caught 133 passes, he would be 7th all time in most catches in a single season, behind guys like Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, Marvin Harrison Sr., Antonio Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Julio Jones. I think Eckler has the single season running back record at 107. I think. I could be wrong there. Just quickly looking at the list. I think it's Eckler that said it not that long ago. Yeah, back in 2022, I'm pretty sure. Like he's on pace to smash that. So yeah, it really depends, Danny. Easy on a rebuilding team, or even a team where I'm just like, it's kind of CMC, and that's like you got to take a long, hard look at your team, Danny. And let's just say you're 3-1, and so you think you're contending. What would your team be like if you lost CMC? Would you be even sniffing the playoffs without CMC? If the answer is no, I think I would probably make that trade because if something happens to CMC, you're kind of screwed. You're left holding the bag on him. So if you feel like, okay, my team could still Obviously, it's a huge hit if you lose CMC, but I still have these guys. Okay, so you're 1-3 with CMC, which means you kind of only have CMC, right, Danny? So I would take the two. I would take the two firsts. I would take the two firsts. I don't think you can get much better than that. Maybe he can throw in like a dart throw type of player or something, but I don't think you can get much more than that. Troy Franklin had the dropsies last week. Yeah, he could have had a much better game for sure. And he still had a solid game. Like if you, for whatever reason, in deep dynasty leagues or something, you started him. He gave you 455. So he has 27 targets in 4 games. That's really good. That is really good. The Smitty, who should I start? Browning, Gabriel, Mac Jones, or Rattler? Browning, Gabriel, Mac Jones, or the Rattler? I'm going to go Mac Jones. I am going to go Mac Jones. I don't trust Browning at all until I see it. Dylan Gabriel, you just can't start him against the Vikings week 1. No, thank you. Rattler, I don't think is terrible because he could run a little bit. Rattler, like what's he averaging this year? I don't think he's averaging much for. And I know this is super flex and stuff you're talking about. He's QB 19 to start the year. He can run the ball a little bit, but I'm going to go Mac Jones. I mean, I know the weapons aren't there and stuff, but he still has CMC to dump the ball off to. He still has Kyle Shanahan as his head coach. So I'm gonna go Mac Jones. And even if Mac Jones gives you like his bad game that he had, 280 and 1, I think that's gonna be better than these other guys most likely. So, and you're welcome, Danny. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Think we're gonna probably take off. We'll be live again. I'll have to see if we're gonna make it tomorrow after the game. Join our Discord so you'll know, but might have to miss tomorrow's stream. But I will let you know, obviously, if we do go live. So for sure, Saturday morning, for sure, Sunday morning as well. So join us then. Hit the like button on this, subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you guys all in the next stream.